definitely stank it up. I think he had a good game today, but it doesn't excuse his other games. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. They need a point guard because CJ McCollum can't run a point. I feel like
He's a two.
he was running the point before,
Dame Lillard is always a point.
you know.
Even when
But
he was in Portland,
yeah,
that's
but
what I'm saying.
when
That's
he
what I
came to the
feel.
Pelicans, he was a starter. Yeah,
Well, yeah, when he came to the Pelicans, he became a point guard. And it was funny because he's actually the size of a point guard. He's a little small for a two. But I don't know. I feel like maybe they do need a real point guard. But if
yeah.
they do get a point guard, excuse me, I feel like it would have to be almost like a Shea Gilgeous, where like he's like a 6'7" point guard. So where like they could cross match, and CJ could guard the one, and the point guard could guard the two, because CJ's so small. But I don't think he has the ball handling or offensive coordinator mind enough to really take the Pelicans to the next level. But a lot of people attribute that to Brandon Ingram being injured and playing at like a lesser percentage, and then Zion being completely out. Of course, that's going to be a big loss.
Yeah, I feel like they OKC is just a better team. You can't say Gilchrist Alexander is almost about to be MVP. He's up to be MVP. He's up for
He's
the
a
ranking to be
finalist.
a finalist to be
Him, the
MVP.
Joker, and Luca are the three
The way
finalists. So we'll
after
see.
Chat got injured after the whole LeBron James situation over the summer, I thought he was going to be a bust. But I mean, he's turning out
He's
to be
killed it.
he's turning out to kill it. I mean, like the OKC is a real team to mess with. I just feel like if the Lakers ended up playing them first, Lakers wouldn't have been in the predicament they're in right now. But moving on
Oh,
to
they
the
definitely would have won more games than the Pelicans.
exactly moving on to the next game here, Mavs versus Clippers.
Clippers,
The only actual
real series in the Western Conference of going back and forth. The only competitive series, but it has been absolutely crazy. It's been a roller coaster because Kawhi played 2 games and missed 2 games, but the actually opposite happened of what you
mm-hmm.
had thought. The 2 games that he missed is the 2 games that they won, because they feel like that James Harden and Paul George are much more
I felt the
aggressive
same way too.
when Kawhi's not there, and then when they're aggressive, their offense runs a lot more smoothly than when Kawhi is the number one option. That it's more of a
Why are
team
they
a team attack than kind of one person and sidekick attack.
why are they making Kawhi Leonard the number one option when he's always injured? You can't, even though you are. If you're the healthiest, you're the best, but you're never the healthiest.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem, because he definitely has the skills to be the number one option, or if he wants to take a back seat and be the number two option. I feel like with them three, they basically could have just seen who was hot every night, and that would
No,
decide
he needs
who's
to be
one,
the
two,
number
or
three
three.
option.
Kawhi.
Yes, because he's only really good for defense. Anything else, he's
Well,
gonna get
he's
injured.
great at threes. He's
Ju-
good at mid range.
Yeah, until he gets injured, because he's moving around too much. So just give him just let him play the
You
D.
can
Give
turn
him
him into Kevin Love.
turn him into Chris Bosh, so you give less movement, so he'll most likely be
Just
healthy for the
stand in the corner,
playoffs.
Kawhi, and play defense. You want him to be a true 3-and-D only.
Exactly. Everybody claiming like he's like nobody. You see
I mean,
LeBron James
I
things.
I almost like that though. Have James Harden be the main ball handler, and then he can be like having Paul George run off of
Because
screens,
PG
and then
goes,
have Kawhi just space the court
yeah, exactly. Because you see how PG playing, either he's like real cold or he's like
on fire,
on fire. Because
ungodly.
it was like this past game, every shot he threw up, even when he fell on the floor, it went in. Because you saw that little crazy shot he threw up in the air and it went.
And then the three to kind of pretty much win the game. Besides James Harden at the last floater, yeah, like a lot of the threes that he hit, you couldn't even see bad defense. Like the dude was in his face. If he literally did anything more than he did, it would have been a foul. So you can't play Benny Bennett defense in that. He just ended up hitting it. So it's been real interesting. Kyrie had the game that remind everyone that he is still got the talent to be like he had almost 50 points. He had 40 something, that he's still a top tier talent. But Luka's actually been letting Dallas down. He's been scoring, rebounding, and assisting, but his shooting percentage from two and especially from three has been horrible. He hasn't been hitting his threes. He hasn't had a Luka signature game. Yeah, he's still scoring between 25 and 30
But
points
it's
a game,
hard working 30 points.
but it's a hard 30 points, not getting a lot of easy buckets. I think he needs to stop just settling and jacking up threes, and he needs to start posting up. And if they start collapsing on him, let him have like a 20-point, 20 assist game. Get the ball
True.
to Kyrie, let him keep being hot and get all the other guys hot. Almost do it like the Joker. You see the Joker will have 22 points but dominate the game against the Lakers. So you got to almost take that approach sometimes if they're guarding you that heavy. Um,
And then
but we'll see. Kawhi, I think will be out the rest of the series, but the Clippers have been playing better without him. Hopefully, Luka, who's 4 games in, hasn't had a Luka game, a Luka Magic game. So hopefully,
it's
within the
coming
next
up
three
soon.
games, he'll have at least 2 out of the 3. He'll have some Luka Magic. So I think Dallas will win in 6 or 7. But who knows? This has been literally a seesaw series.
True, and then also the next game, I can't believe KD couldn't win one game against the
T
Timberwolves.
Wolves.
The T Wolves, and the whole time everybody kept talking. Oh yeah, as soon as the Suns have all their starters playing, nobody's gonna be able to beat the Suns. But y'all couldn't even get a win, and all three of y'all played. Bradley
Garbage.
Beal's a bum. Devin Booker is a bum. Kevin Durant, you're a cupcake. And it's all right. You just come over to the Lakers next year because you know that's what you want to do. Because, I
No.
mean, Bradley Beal ain't giving up his trade clause. They're not giving up Devin Booker. And if they had to choose, you the one that can go. That's how I feel, honestly.
I feel like that what they should do is get Bradley Beal to waive his trade clause, trade him
He is
somewhere he
not.
wants, and then stay with Booker and KD and try to build off of that and maybe get like 3 or 4 players and have your 2 stars rather than have all your money wrapped up in 3 players and having no money available for the rest of your team.
True.
Because that's what they said. They said their 3 contracts of Booker, KD, and Bradley Beal are higher than like 85% of some teams' whole roster. That's
She
their salaries.
a waste. And I mean, you already know, yeah, traded away Aiden. Aiden's no longer on the
Chris
team.
Paul.
Chris Paul's gone. You got nobody to basically do anything on your team. So we'll see what's gonna go happen next year. See who stays, who leaves.
KD's going back to Golden State.
You think so? No,
Let's
hell
hit
no.
one last run.
Hell
I
no.
want to hang out with my buddy Draymond.
I don't see that happening. But you see in the last game, the Lakers and the Nuggets, man, I really thought LeBron was gonna do it, man, to be the first one to come from 0-3 deficit, but
Jamal Murray.
it makes no sense. And I mean, and also you already know, Lakers
Yeah.
can never follow suit.
Go ahead.
Lakers never follow suit, and it's just the Nuggets. The Nuggets is just too good. Michael Porter Jr. It's just like nobody talks about
He's
him.
on fire.
They always want to talk about Jokic and Murray, but I honestly feel like Porter's the reason why they're here because he don't miss at all.
Well, I mean, that's honestly the hardest part because when you run a pick and roll, especially to one side, the only person that can help is the man from the corner. So if you're helping off Michael Porter Jr., who's a 6'10 sniper, even if you are almost pretty much on him, it's almost like trying to block Kevin Durant's shot. He's dang near 7 foot doing a jump shot. So especially if you have a small running out there or someone a hair late, he basically has no contest and it's like a practice jump shot. How many jump shots do you see him hit that are completely wide open, no contest because of what Jokic and Murray are doing?
Facts.
And then at a certain point, he gets the confidence that maybe even if you do happen to rotate enough where you actually get out there, he's so confident that he drains it when you're in his face anyway.
And then what's the power forward name again?
Gordon,
Gordon. And the way Gordon, he's just always
always in the dunker spot.
in the dunker spot by the
Waiting.
baseline, waiting just to jam on somebody. So with them playing the Timberwolves, I mean this can be different because you got Rudy and you got Karl Anthony Towns and you got Josh McDaniels.
Oh, Jalen McDaniels.
Jalen was it Jalen McDaniels?
What for the who? T-Wolves?
T Wolves.
Oh yeah, you got Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jalen McDaniels, the Big Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. Versus Murray, Caldwell, Porter, Gordon, and Joker.
So I mean, so it's gonna be more rebounding here. So they won't be able to out
It's gonna be
rebound
big
them
on
like they.
bigs. I
Yeah.
think Denver's usually able to bully, but Denver's usually is like Minnesota's a team that's best equipped to handle Denver. They got 3 true centers. They start 2 centers basically because the Big Cat played center his whole life until Karl Anthony Rudy Gobert got there. So now they have like 2 7-footers in their starting lineup. And, Gordon usually tries to bully the other team's power forward. And he's not going to be able to do that with the Big Cat.
True, and
because
then
he's way bigger than him. And then if one of them gets in foul trouble, you got Nas Reed, who's got some pretty good size. He's dang near 7 foot right there, and he's a thick guy, so he's not gonna guy that's just gonna be able to be like bullied because of weight.
true, and then with the next series on the East Side, I mean, with the Miami
But what did
series,
you think about LeBron getting dunked on? Did you think that they had a real chance of coming back, or did you think
yes,
that Denver was gonna just
no,
do what they did in
I
the other
thought
games
no,
and come back?
I thought the like I said before, LeBron was finna be the first person to ever go from 03 series to win the whole series, and then he would have took over as the best NBA player of all time over Michael Jordan. But it didn't
It
happen
still
this
wouldn't
year.
have been enough.
It's gonna happen
It would
next
have
year.
helped,
See,
but it
man,
wouldn't have been
I'm
enough.
like a Dallas Cowboy fan, man. It's always next year. But
I wanted the Lakers to win, but Hachimura and Austin Reeves really had a mediocre series.
yeah,
And D'Angelo was kind of on and off, and he needed him to be more on to even have a chance. And again, my number one problem with the Lakers is LeBron's too old to be the number one option, and Anthony Davis isn't good enough in the big games, and he isn't healthy enough in the big games to be the number one option. So you have a guy that's almost 40 years old constantly trying to step up because the guy that's supposed to take over the Batman can't do it. And you got, like it's almost like Batman Beyond, where you almost got the old Batman out there. If he put the suit back on. But we'll go ahead and move into the East. We got. I don't know why you're going so hard for the Lakers. I thought the Heat were your number one team.
I'm from Miami. Why I got what you talking? So moving, we got the East,
So if you had to pick, well, who's your bias?
the Lakers.
The Lakers over Heat?
Yeah,
Just because of Kobe? Or did you like the Magic?
I like the Magic. What was like the Magic?
Magic Johnson.
I know. Oh, the Magic Johnson Lakers. Oh, I wasn't watching basketball at the Magic Johnson Lakers time.
I thought you were alive in the 70s.
Horrible.
Oh,
But we got this. We got the
just kidding.
Celtics versus the Heat here. I mean, this series is already over with. The Heat won one game. That's the most they finna win. Jimmy Butler's gone. Terry Rozier's injured. I mean, Tyler Hero. All we got is Tyler Hero.
He's been a little injured too.
He's over here saying he. I always will remember that he said that he's gonna be better than Luka Doncic, and I still don't
And
see
Tatum.
it. I still don't see it.
No, he's not. He's not a big enough guard to do that. I feel like the guys that are taking over the game now are like giant point guards, giant shooting guards, giant small forwards. When you're looking kind of at the wing positions,
True.
but I think all the Heat can't really. You can't really be a Heat fan and be upset. You're missing two starters, and one of them is your best player.
Pretty much.
And honestly, probably Terry was probably your second best player on that roster, or tied for second best player. So you're missing your two best players, and you're still making the games at least a little bit interesting. But they're not going to do it. I got Boston moving on.
Yeah, I got Boston moving on next game.
Who did you pick between Clippers and Dallas? Did you say?
Clippers and Dallas. It says going 7.
And who's winning?
I'm going for Clippers just because my Lakers lost.
You hater.
LA baby. But moving on, so we got the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Orlando Magic. Now this is a series. It's going back and forth. Anybody can win
The
this.
Wagner brothers and Paulo are going to win.
The Wagner brothers and Paulo versus Dame Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, and Garland.
Darius Garland.
So and Darius Garland. So I mean, with this whole
Jared Allen.
series, I mean, this is a real good series. I mean, they'll talk about Orlando Magic all this season, how they just improved. They're so much better. They're so good.
Remember we talked about them early in the year when they started off strong and they were a top 4 team. We're like, were they going to keep home court? We thought if they stayed strong that they could, but they ended up barely getting to the 5 seed. But they're holding their own. I actually have faith in them. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to flop. Spider Mitchell, I don't buy it. We're closing the book on you.
And you know they're already talking about trading Donovan. I mean, not trading. At least him going somewhere to another team.
That'd be like the third trade.
Yeah,
Third time people don't want him.
I mean, you see Westbrook going on the whole tour. I mean, and JJ Redick been on like 16 to 18 teams. Anything's possible. So that's enough about that game. I mean, this is going to go. I feel like this is going to go 7 games.
It's tough because I think it's kind of a tough thing too. Because Darius Garland's like 6'1", and then Donovan Mitchell's like 6'3". So it's almost like a CJ McCollum, Dame Lillard. Like they got too many little guards, but who knows? We'll see if they'll figure it out. And then, speaking of figuring it out, we got the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton up on the Bucks that are almost in the same situation as the Miami Heat where they got their two best players out, and so almost like you would expect, they're down 3-1.
Basically, I mean, like, you got Giannis out. I mean, honestly,
Dame.
And Dame, I honestly feel like if the Bucks would have won one more game and Dame wasn't hurt, Giannis would have came back. But I mean, at this point, you just if you just let them play one more time. If the Bucks win without Dame and Giannis, then you'll bring one of the two back. But if they lose the series, I mean, like, it's all right. Everybody already knows you already won you already got a ring already. So you going back to back wasn't really likely.
It's crazy that the Pacers could possibly get to the second round.
They got lucky.
I basically pegged them as a play-in team. They ended up avoiding the play-in by barely getting the 6th seed, and shoot, they're doing work. But I mean, but it's not impressive to me because they're not playing against the real team. So we'll see. If Dame and Giannis return, I can see them still winning the series. But if only one of them returns, I think they'll still lose. They might be able to win the next game if one of the others returns, but I don't think they're winning the series unless both return. So maybe they could buy some time, whoever's healthier. Like if Giannis is healthier, have him play and buy another game, and then get Dame back the next game and then really make it a run. But it looks like the writing's on the wall. The Pacers are going to get them. And then we got the final matchup, the definitely Eastern Conference, the Northeast. They right next to each other. They're only like an hour or two away. We got the New York Knicks versus the Philadelphia 76ers. And to be honest, I've liked the Knicks. I used to be my favorite team back with Stoudemire, Melo, and J.R. Smith and Lynn Sanity and all that. I really liked them. And Porzingis back in the day when he was drafted by the Knicks. But I didn't have faith in them beating Philly. I thought that they ran too many small guards, especially with their injuries to their two big players, to Randall and Robinson. So they have to use backups. And then they're playing a lot of 3-guard lineups where they have 3 guys that are not like over 6'3" on the court at the same time. I just thought with Philly having a bunch of big to semi-big players that they were just going to big boy them, and that Joel Embiid will be able to, score 50 points a game. He actually has scored 50 points in one of the games, but I think they still lost in that game. He scored 50. Correct me if I'm wrong down below. I don't remember, but big surprise, Jalen Brunson playing at an MVP level, and he's killing it. Embiid's trying to do it on one leg, but they're on the doorsteps of being on Cancun.
And with this situation, I just feel like you can't win the whole Eastern Conference with your big man being the number one option, because the drop off with the Sixers, like, you have Joel Embiid all the way up here. Your number 2 should be like right here, like LeBron James, AD. But you got Joel Embiid up here, and like the next person is who?
Tyrese
Halliburton's like all the way down here.
No, not Halliburton.
Maxey, what?
Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey, look how far.
Tyrese Maxey's good. He's almost
a far
an all-star.
drop off. That's not a James Harden. He's way trashier than James Harden. Y'all shit on James Harden.
I would actually say that Maxey's better than
That's
James
a lie.
Harden right
don't
now.
Don't even listen to this guy. James Harden's shit's on.
I would definitely say that.
That's a lie. Nobody would down in the comments
James
would say that.
Harden wasn't an all-star this year, I don't believe.
That's this year, but all the other times James Harden was.
But Tyrese Maxey's young, and he's had his best year. He's actually was in the running for most improved player.
He would, and I'm pretty sure you put Tyrese Maxey on the Houston Rockets, he wouldn't get the Houston Rockets all the way up to
get them better than Jalen Green. I bet you. He would have got them farther than Jalen Green.
You mean
yes,
better farther than James Harden? You kept saying Jalen Green.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Houston right now.
No. If he was the star player on the Houston Rockets, like James Harden was the star player on the Houston Rockets, and all they had was that
prime versus prime.
No, it's
Tyrese Maxey's literally just entering his prime. He had his best year in the league this year. James Harden's in his middle 30s.
His prime. Maxey's best prime will never be James Harden's best prime.
We're actually probably 2 years from Maxey's prime.
So you think
Maxey's gonna be a perennial all-star? I've always liked him.
So what Maxey's prime look like? Was it better than James Harden or worse than James Harden? Or on the same level as James Harden?
Well, see, it depends, because if you're going off stats only, I think James was a stat hunter. So I would say that James would have better stats, but I would say that I would expect more from Tyrese in the playoffs. I think Maxey would be able to lead a team better, because also in James Harden history, he's done really good this playoffs, but in his history, he's had a lot of playoff failures.
But he got them to the top by himself.
They never made it to the finals.
He made it to the Western Conference Finals by himself and lost. He lost, but he made it.
Yeah, Gordon.
What exactly? He didn't have
Eric
He didn't have
Gordon.
Joel Embiid. Exactly. He's not. It's not the same. It's like you got Tyrese. Like you got
He
those.
had Clint Capella.
But like I said before, you have Joel Embiid, and the next best player is all the way down here. That's not good. Like
I don't know. I think I'm
he has to be
pretty
at least closer.
I'm pretty high on Maxey. I would say Maxey's better than Jalen Brunson's second best player, which is either DiVincenzo or Josh Hart.
But they got Hart, and they getting lucky because of what's his name.
I mean, I was talking about Brunson's second best player.
He's better than that, but okay, but if you go,
That's what I'm saying. I would say that Tyrese Maxey is better than
but here's
is 76ers best player is better than the Knicks. Second
okay,
best
so
player.
if you do it the same way I just said, you have Julius Randle, and how far down is Jalen Brunson? All the way down here, like Maxey.
Jalen Brunson's already better than Randle.
Exactly, so at least right here, right? They at least close.
I would say that Brunson should be rated a 90, and I would say Julius Randle should be rated like an 84.
Because you don't like him. Okay, besides you don't like him
because of stats.
Because
he does how he doesn't perform, how he thinks he basically has Anthony Davis syndrome, where he thinks he's a dang near 7 foot sniper, but actually he needs to play bully ball and think that he's Amari Stoudemire and play like that. Julius Randle's fell in love with his jump shot, and that's what's kept him from being a great player.
If he
just like Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis played like Giannis, he would be a real menace, but his body's too weak and his mind's too weak to play like that.
So you give him an 84. So 84 to 87. Julius Randle's.
Yeah, I'd probably say.
So what you giving Maxey, the point guard for the Sixers?
88 right now. Tyrese Maxey's at 88.
That's since when?
Since day one.
Cap.
He's the Flash.
Cap.
Tyrese, if you see this, I need you to disrespect my co-host by cash apping me $10,000 and giving him. I'll give him none.
So what you giving James Harden?
A what?
What you giving James Harden rating in
his prime?
No,
or now?
I mean right now. Is he 84? He's doing amazing against Dallas.
Yeah, he's probably like 85.
And Maxey's better than see exactly. Comment down below, slander my co-host. Slander my co-host. Because you can tell right now, this is bias.
It's not bias.
It is. Exactly. Like I said, it's nowhere close at all. They need somebody else. But, I mean, the fact that they're winning is great. But when they go up to play the Knicks versus the Pacers.
Well, what's crazy is Jalen Brunson getting MVP chance in Philly.
I can see the Knicks going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
It's so close. I mean, yeah, I definitely have. Oh, I mean, yeah, they have the easiest road ever. They're playing Philly. I mean, I guess they lost 2 starters, but they figured that out. So that's still pretty impressive.
Because who you got on the Pacers? Even though
Embiid isn't full strength.
True. Who you got on the Pacers that really to worry about that the Knicks could have to worry about? Miles Turner's okay.
Well, Miles Turner, they might have problems because he's pretty good, and they only have Harkenstein as a big. But then also.
Is Miles Turner more like a Joel Embiid, or is Miles Turner more like an AD?
Because they're going to have OG on Siakam. He can't be able to guard Miles Turner.
That's easy. They play on the same team.
Who? OG and Siakam? It'll be like they're back in their Raptors days.
Exactly, back in their Raptors days.
I remember all your moves from practice, bro.
Exactly. That's canceled out right there.
Yeah, so they'll cancel each other out. And then Halliburton. Halliburton might be a tough guard for the Knicks because Halliburton is going to have to be guarded by Josh Hart.
Josh Hart got hard.
Or DiVincenzo, who's their 2 defensive guards. But Halliburton is pretty lanky, and he's a little bit bigger than those guys, so he might have a little bit of advantage. We'll see, though. But, I mean, they do have a handful of guys because they still got McBride. I really like McBride off the Knicks bench. I mean, he's honestly another small guy that's 6'4" or under that they probably shouldn't even have enough time to put him in the rotation, but he's killing it so much they keep having to play minutes. What's crazy is when they run a 4-point guard lineup. It's literally 4 point guards, 4 dudes 6'4" and under, and then a 7-footer with Harkenstein.
True.
Or OG who's 6'8".
Because they ain't missing they see horrible. But, I mean, we're going to keep y'all commenting on the playoffs, man. Comment down your favorite team. Who you going for, man? I'm sorry my Lakers didn't make it. So, my Lakers didn't make it, and my Heat didn't make it. So, I'm not